Hi, I'm Dr. Greg Emerson from the Sunshine Coast in Australia. Katrina Blair wrote that weeds have an intrinsic wisdom of resilience and have mastered the art of survival. So I'm here with Rich Hungerford, who runs BushLore Australia, teaching wilderness survival skills, and also ex-Australian Special Forces soldier, to talk to us a little bit about some of the weeds that we can use that are commonly available in Australia.
Thanks, Greg. Mate, on the course this weekend, we've looked at this particular one, which is very common around the urban space. It's common in the wilderness areas as well. It's been imported to Australia, probably from the Northern Hemisphere at some point in our history. And it's one that people spend a lot of time and effort trying to eradicate from their gardens. And yet, right below their feet is this amazing source of food. So this is what we call a Catscan. And there are two varieties in Australia. We have a furry one and a smoothly variety. Both have the shared properties that we're going to discuss quickly here. Essentially, they represent a salad green for us in the first instance. So it's a very palatable salad green. It's very, very rich in nutrient, and it's a nutrient dense food completely. The beauty of the Catscan is the entire plant is edible. So from the leaves right through to the roots, you've got this fantastic food resource that, again, people spend all this money trying to eradicate from their gardens.
So how would you normally use the leaves?
A lot of the time I just graze on the leaves. I add them to salads. You can actually turn this into a spinach just by cooking it off frying it off in a pan with a bit of oil, or a bit of balsamic vinegar works really well too. So it can be stuff that's not just perceived as a survival food. It's
right.
stuff you can bring into your kitchen and have it as part of your normal meal. It's still used in places like the Central European area quite a lot as a standard food item on the table.
And the roots, how can we use the roots?
The roots can also, they have a long taproot like a carrot, so it's a very thin taproot, but it can be dried, crushed up and used as a coffee substitute. Alternatively, you can just chop it and add it to a stew or a broth as part of the vegetable matter that's going to be in that food.
Right, and I know that it has quite a deep root structure, doesn't it?
It's for relative to size, yeah, you can go down
Right.
good 10, 15 centimetres sometimes on some individual plants, depending on the conditions.
I think that's one of the beauties of weeds, is that they have the deep root structure allows them to access a lot of the minerals from deeper in the ground, which is why my goats don't want to just eat grass, they want to eat weeds as well, because goats have a very high mineral requirement, and that's one of the beauties. What about, does it have a flower we can use, Rich?
The flower that's characteristic on this plant is it comes out on a split stem, and it's a very bright, neat yellow flower, much like the dandelion flower that people are probably used to seeing. The flower's edible as well,
Right.
so there's not much on the plant that you can't eat. Predominantly the dirt around the roots is about all that's inedible.
Right.
The rest is useful.
Excellent. Ralph Waldo Emerson said that, I don't think it was a relative, Ralph Waldo Emerson said that weeds are plants whose virtues are waiting to be discovered. I think he said that a long time ago, because recently we've discovered that weeds have an enormous amount to offer Homo sapiens, and they follow us around. They love living in disturbed soil. Our indigenous ancestors used to use them. We've forgotten that wisdom, and now we're rediscovering it, and the weeds follow us around as Homo sapiens disrupt their environment. Weeds move in, help restore their environment, and they also provide us with extraordinary plant medicines which have been missing from our diet that we can harness, and also a fantastic source of food that we can also use. We don't need to go and buy lettuce sometimes. There are wild lettuces, wild weeds in the environment, even in an urban environment, that we can make use of. So Rich, thanks again for your wisdom. Thanks for an amazing course, and we'll hear from you next time.
Thanks, Greg.